With regards to the World Series in New York, here's something else that's interesting. In the history of baseball, now we've had 111 World Series, a relatively old sport. There have only been 2 that have gone into the month of November. Both of those were lost by teams from the 11th state, New York. The first time it happened was in 2001, and the reason it went into November was because of the delay in the playoffs caused by September 11th. Now get this, that World Series after 9/11 was New York versus Arizona. There are only 2 states with a gematria of 39. They are Arizona and New York. The Yankees lost to Arizona after 9/11 in the 11th month. This time the Mets lost to Kansas City, who's from the 39th parallel, who's managed by Ned Yost, NY, a lot like New York, whose name equals 39. Kansas City Royals equals the exact same thing as Charles, Prince of Wales, his royal family title. Okay, so with regards to New York and September 11th, think about this. New York equals 111. September 11th, this fateful day in New York, is the day that leaves 111 days remaining in the year, a number special to the state. In English gematria, New York would equal 666 because you multiply times 6. Anytime you see a 111 in simple English gematria, you know it's a 666 in English gematria. Santa Claus equals 111. Santa Claus equals 666 in English gematria. September 11th was a date full of gematria and numerology. Look at this. September 11th, 2001 is a date with numerology of 41 as shown on the screen. Al-Qaeda in simple English gematria equals 41. They said the attacks that day lasted 102 minutes. Al-Qaeda in Jewish gematria equals 102. Should also be noted that USA in simple English gematria equals 41 and United States of America equals 102, Pythagorean with the S exceptions. Not coincidence. This is how much of our history has been scripted by the numbers. On that date, Americans were programmed to think of the word terrorist in a very different way. Notice that 102 minutes is also 1 hour, 42 minutes. The word terrorist equals 142. On that date, the news media really antagonized us with reporting such as this. It was reported that at the crash site in Pennsylvania where Flight 93 crashed, that they recovered box cutter knives, turbans, and terrorist passports, but they could not find any plane. The word propaganda equals 93. Just think about it. They found cloth turbans, box cutter knives, paper passports, but they didn't find a plane. See, Truth Seeker, I found this knowledge because I knew I was living in a world of lies, and I just been digging deeper and deeper for truth. When I found this, I knew I found a skill that I had to share with the world. That's where all this comes from. In 1994, Vice magazine wrote this article that you see on the screen, What is Al-Qaeda? You can look up this article online. If you read the article, it talks about how Al-Qaeda is this new small terrorist organization that has plans to hijack planes, fly them into the World Trade Centers, and bring them collapsing to the ground. It asks the reader to imagine the scenario. This is written in 1994, a year after the 93 World Trade Center bombing. The illustration is Beavis and Butthead with darker skin with turbans flying planes into the building. Remember after 9/11, George W. Bush, the president, said nobody could have ever imagined this. Lo and behold, it was written in a magazine. In 94, 7 years before it happened. The magazine was Vice. Vice has a gematria of 39, that important number in New York. On the day of the 93 World Trade Center bombings, the movie Falling Down came out. From February 26, 1993 to September 11, 2001 is a span of 3,119 days. There is something in that number that stands out to me. The World Trade Centers were proposed on March 11, 1961 by David Rockefeller while his cousin Nelson Rockefeller was the 49th governor of the state. Twin Towers equals 49 in Pythagorean Gematria, Truth Seeker. Revelation equals 49 in Pythagorean Gematria, New York with all of its revelation coding. Anyhow, that date of March 11th can be written 311 or 11/3. September 11th can be written 9/11 or 11/9. Look at the span of 3,119 days. It encapsulates both of those dates, the beginning and end of the building, you could say, when it was proposed, when it died. March 11th and September 11th were also the most important dates in getting the United States involved in World War II. On March 11th, 1941, Roosevelt signed the Lend-Lease Act, which got the United States Navy involved in World War II. This is before Pearl Harbor. On September 11th, he gave the Navy the right to attack Axis ships. Pentagon construction also started that day. March 11th, September 11th. Important numbers. Numbers relevant to this nation and more. There was a lot of 93s on September 11th. Flight 11, the first plane to hit floors 93 through 99. Flight 175, the second plane to crash into the towers, crashed at 9:03 a.m. Look at how 9:03 is a lot like 93. There was flight 93 of 33 passengers and 11 crew. They crashed in the Keystone State, which has Gematria of 33. Of course, the 93 World Trade Center bombing. The word propaganda equals 93, the reflection of 39, this important number in New York. The building that now stands where the World Trade Centers once stood is called One World Trade Center. It is 1,776 feet tall, in tribute to the year the United States was established. Notice that 17 plus 76 equals 93. One World Trade Center has a gematria of 93. One World Trade Center is 104 stories tall. The date 7/4/1776, when the nation was created, is a date with 104 numerology. 10-4 means message received. The tributes are ongoing, Truth Seeker. This building was opened on November 3rd, 113, kind of like how the original World Trade Centers were proposed on March 11th, which can also be written 113. The buildings that fell, World Trade Centers 1 and 2, were 110 stories tall. The name Rockefeller has a gematria of 110. It was the Rockefeller family that proposed and approved the buildings. Their destruction is blamed on Osama bin Laden, which also has gematria of 110. Look at that explosion, Truth Seeker. The deception on that date was so great. It was bombs. It was demolitions and a whole lot of lies and false blaming. Osama bin Laden's a boogeyman. Speaking of boogeymen, here's another one from history. The name Adolf Hitler equals 110. April 20th is the 110th day of the year. He was the president of Germany. President equals 110. In Pythagorean Gematria, Adolf Hitler equals 56. He would die just days after turning 56. He was born in and died in April, supposedly. April, the only month with 56 Gematria. He also came to power in 33 in Berlin. Berlin equals 33. Nazis equals 33. Zyklon B equals 33, which is the chemical blamed for killing 6 million Jews in the Holocaust, which has since been admitted to be a lie. Holocaust also equals 33. Holocaust means burnt animal sacrifice to the gods, a very disgusting name to be given to any event. The reason it is given is for its gematria. Back to September 11th, there was Flight 77 that hit the Pentagon. This is comical because the Pentagon is 77 feet tall. It is located on the 77th meridian, known as the American Meridian. It was hit by Flight 77 that departed at 8:20 and crashed at 9:37, which is exactly 77 minutes later. Again, the Pentagon construction began September 11th, 1941. The word conspiracy has a gematria of 60. This event would happen 60 years to the day of construction beginning. On the date of September 11th, another building that fell was Building 7 at the World Trade Center site. It fell 8 hours after Trade Centers 1 and 2. It was 47 floors tall. Each floor was 47,000 square feet. It was on the 74th meridian, the reflection of 47, that important number we talked about in the beginning. The name Osama bin Laden, the small way, equals 47, matching building 7. His name, the big way, 110, matched to building 1 and 2. The buildings were named after Haym Salomon, who was born on 4/7, April 7th. The coordinates for the World Trade Center is down in the left corner. Notice Haym Salomon. This is the man who financed the American Revolutionary War. If you read Jewish Zionist history, he is recognized as the man who saved America. It is said that if he did not exist, America would not exist. A lot of Jewish Zionist history is left out of the history books on purpose because these are the people who have governed this nation and a lot of this world since before we were around and more. And they want to remain in the shadows. Notice the name Haym, his first name has Gematria 47 matching his birthday. He would die at age 44. The word kill equals 44. Look at the gematria of kill. K11, I9, L12, L12. The 119 stands out. The World Trade Centers that came down on September 11th first opened in history on 4/4, April 4th. This number that's found all around tragedy and assassination. The World Trade Centers opened on 4/4/73, 5 years to the day after the assassination of MLK. Notice the year 73, the word sacrifice equals 73. The gematria of Star of David, the symbol of the Zionists, is quite revealing. Star of David equals 119. So does the name All-Seeing Eye. Star of David, the small way, sums to 47. Remember this number all over Haym Salomon, the Zionist who funded the American Revolutionary War, the war that saved America. This same number coded on Building 7, the giveaway building that fell on September 11th. Notice also in the description on the bottom right that Israel was recognized on November 29th, 1947, in the year 47, in the 11th month on a date with 11 numerology, by a 33-member vote. And this was based on what was drawn up September 3rd, 3-9 or 9-3. 39 and 93 are incredibly important numbers to the Zionists. Again, I showed you how they were very important to New York as well. But keep in mind that this nation is a Zionist Masonic creation. So much of history has been run by these numbers. The date of November 29th, 1947 has a numerology of 106, just like the word prophecy. In Zionist history, they say that that date is a date of prophecy where Israel was recognized. But nowhere in any of that literature that's out there does it explain gematria and how all these numbers come together. The date Delaware, the first state was established, was also a date with 106 numerology. The first state, the first colony for America.